right, it's Wellness Wednesday, and we have our favorite doctor here. Sometimes, Dr. Quinn, the FDA gets involved with food or medicine if those things end up being a threat to people's safety. So, of course, today we have Dr. Quinn to discuss what you can do if you hear about something that you bought recently has been recalled. Dr. Quinn, good morning.
Good morning.
So, what should you do if something that you bought gets recalled?
Well, the most important thing that we want to convey to our viewing audience is pay attention. Don't ignore it, because the FDA is not doing it for no reason. When they go and inspect a facility or a processing plant of medication or food, if they determine that it's dangerous, they have different categories. So category 1 means that they feel very strongly that it could potentially cause you short-term or long-term health issues or even lose your life. So don't ignore it. It's so important.
Absolutely. And why would something like this happen? Is there a reason that these medicines or food, they get recalled?
Well, the most common reason, let's talk about food first. The most common reason for food is they'll note that maybe there's some contamination that they detected. Most commonly, a bacteria such as Salmonella or E. coli. And if you ingest this food, then you'll ingest that bacteria at levels that could make you very sick. Usually, it'll take 6 hours to 6 days before you develop symptoms fully, but you can get really bad stomach pain, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. But if it gets severe, go seek emergency medical attention quickly, especially if you have blood in your urine or your stomach is just severely painful. Don't hesitate to call 911, because you could lose your life.
Right. Absolutely, Dr. Quinn. And how can people check if their product is not meeting those FDA guidelines? Maybe people are unsure. How do you check that?
Well, ironically, about maybe last month, there was some recall on some eggs, and a lot of patients were asking me if they had those eggs, and I told them, I don't know where you shop. But what I advised them to do, and I did the same, is I called all the local grocery stores and asked about it, and I was able to finally get someone on the phone. I had to send one of my employees to one of the grocery stores because it's hard to get people on the phone,
Right.
And they confirmed that they received none of these eggs, and I advised my patients to do the same. But what you can also do is you can go to the FDA website and you can look at your product, and there's usually a lot number associated with that specific product, and if your lot number is not within that category on the website, then you most likely don't have that contaminated or FDA determined contaminated food. And when we talk about medication, it's much more serious, because if you eat or if you consume medication that the FDA has considered dangerous, it could definitely take your life. And I remember about 3 years ago, there was a recall on a blood pressure medicine called losartan, and my mom was on the medicine, and she was so concerned. So we contacted the pharmacy where she got the medicine from, and they looked at the lot number, and it was not from that particular manufacturing plant in China, where they determined that there was problems with the medicine. And, when you talk about blood pressure medicine, if the medicine is not working properly, your blood pressure can become extremely elevated,
Right.
which puts you at risk for cardiovascular disease, and that could take your life as well.
Absolutely, Dr. Quinn. So very, very crucial to remember not to ignore those warnings if something does get recalled from the FDA. If it's a food, obviously throw it out immediately. If you have questions, go to the FDA's website and figure out if you have that product, but especially medicine. We need to take action and stop using it immediately.
That is correct. And contact your medical doctor and let them know what's going on so they can advise you properly.